Hey everybody, welcome to episode 82. This episode I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a apartment tour, just so people can see where I live, and see my apartment. Not that I'm not trying to show anything off or trying to flex, as my son would say, or do anything like that. But yeah, I just figured I'd show you. I got clients and I've got fans of my artwork and stuff watch these videos, and maybe they want to see where the magic happens, and people obviously who are into toy collecting, you can see how I've got things displayed or how I've got things stored, which is always an issue. And the record people, I think I did a pretty extensive video on my my hi-fi over there, so I show it, but I mean I don't really dwell on that one very much. My bathroom, my kitchenette, my tiny living room, my tiny dining room. I live in mid-Michigan. I don't know if anybody knows where that's at. It's the middle of the state. As Peter Klima would do, he'd go, "I live here," and then the guy turns his hand over and goes, "Yeah, there." I don't know if you remember the Peter Klima video when the Edmonton Oilers traded him to Detroit back in the 80s. They had that commercial on. It was pretty funny. I always do that too. They say, "Where do you live?" I go, "I live here." So here's the hand, right? So Bay City, this is the bay, right? This is Huron Bay. Or and Bay City obviously is on the bay. It's right there. Don't let that fool you. This is not as extravagant as people think it is. All the farms run right off here and collect right here in the bay. So the state park here, the beach that's here at the state park, looks amazing, but is unswim. You do not want to go in there. It's swamp thing. I mean, it's toxic. It's terrible. It's E. coli ridden. I've seen people go in there and I'm like, what are they doing? I mean, you can't even, if you walk right up to the tip, the waters, the waves are right on the beach, right? Normally you can see like some rock and maybe some sediment that kicks up on a normal beach, just because the waves push stuff in. But otherwise you can see sand. It's black. As in, you can't even see this deep into the water. So it's not that nice living here. You go up to the thumb, Kaysville, Port Austin, oh yeah, it's beautiful up there. It's like bath water, and it's relatively clean, although they do sometimes have E. coli scares up there. But and then of course you go up here, if you go up to Tawas City, the water's okay, the beaches are okay. The state park's actually nice, but the city beach is terrible. The city beach at Kaysville is really nice. Then of course you go up and then you're out of Huron, and you go across Lake Michigan, Chicago over there. On this side, you'd go into Lake Erie, and then Lake Ontario's up here somewhere, and then Ontario, there's Canada. Toronto's not very far. But actually it's more like that. And then this is kind of like Grand Traverse Bay up there. This is a real nice area. This is all rich country up here. Right along the coast, that's a lot of rich country. Bay City is not rich. The Tri-City areas, Bay City, Saginaw, or Saganasty as we call it, or Midland is Dow Chemical, so there's a lot of people there, a lot of engineers, a lot of chemical engineers, so there's money in Midland, and they really make you think that there's money in there, but really it's just as trashy as Bay City, or maybe not as Saganasty, but it's about on par with Bay City. It's a different crowd. People like to think it's the fancy place, like the Dow Gardens and the Dow baseball diamond, the baseball thing there. They like pump it up like it's really cool. It's okay, But people do generally have more money in that area, and anybody who's, is lower middle class and up, they all move to Midland to feel like they were something. All the rest of us hood rats, we all live in Bay City, and then the real hood rats live in Saganasty. So that's where I live, and my apartment is it's not really in Bay City. It's Bay City, but Essexville is technically the little township that's right outside. There's Essexville, Hampton, There's I can't remember what the other ones are on the other side of town, but there's like these small little, they're basically just like subdivision areas, but it's all Bay City. And I live right on the tip, like literally, like you just, if you go down the rail trail and you just go across the light, you're suddenly in the city limits of Bay City. But it's pretty centrally, conveniently located. I mean, I'm 5-10 minute bike ride to downtown Bay City, which is nice. It's not great. It's nice in the summer. There's a lot of things going on down there. There's concerts and stuff. I mean, it's a relatively nice place to go. There's nothing really to go to down there. They got that arcade, which, you know, I rarely go to. They've got the antique, a lot of antique shops, but like I said, I don't really go there because the stuff's overpriced. I once in a while I find a few things, and I've kind of showed you a few things that I found there. But and then they've got a couple of restaurants. Okay, I mean, it's not great. There's this place called Uptown, which is like where Dow Chemical has moved into Bay City, and they basically gentrified this small area, and they made it hoity-toity. Whenever my sister comes, because she's hoity-toity, that's the only place she likes to go is the Uptown, because she's uptown, I'm downtown. You know, Electric Kitch and the comic book shop are kind of, if you circle back around, head back towards me. There's a thing called the Rail Trail, it goes all the way around, and we've got a river, Saginaw River, that runs right through, which goes to Saganasty, and then it dumps out into the bay, and that's where we get a lot of freighters. Like the Edmund Fitzgerald used to come through there. That's where they had one of the routes for the Edmund Fitzgerald, you know, the famous ship that sunk. The Jupiter that exploded in Bay City before I lived here, but the Jupiter exploded. Blew up all the oil drums over there. That was a big like incident that happened back in like the 80s, I think. Could have been late 70s, it was the 80s. I wasn't here for that. There's 3 bridges. There's Independence Bridge, Liberty Bridge. Sorry, I'm giving you the whole thing of Bay City. Just look it up on Google Maps and you'll see Bay City. It's okay. It's Bay City. Whenever I mention anything, it's like, you know, I go, yeah, that's Bay City right there. And Bay City has a lot of huge population of a certain type of people, and I'm not talking race. I don't want to get into that, but I mean, there's a certain nationality of people here that aren't really the people from old country. They're from new country, and I don't know if you've lived in a city with a lot of these particular people. They're odd individuals. I'm not saying they're bad. I don't dislike anybody, but I mean, they have a certain way of doing things, and when I moved into town, I was like, wow, people are really particular about certain things, and you know, and I was like, oh, it's because they're all, okay, gotcha. I'm not going to say anything, but you might know what I'm talking about. I just say Bay City, you know, if you can tell a girl's from Bay City, she's Bay City chick, Bay City. There's certain type of girls that live in Bay City, and not a lot of them are, they're questionable. Most young people don't live here. It's old people, poor people, and that's about it. Because anybody who has any kind of money moves to Midland. They get the hell out of Bay City and move to Midland, or they just get out of the Tri-Cities in general. You know, if you ever see an attractive girl, you got to ask her ID because she's probably in high school, because, you know, they're trapped. They can't go anywhere. Once they get into college, if they don't go to SVSU or Delta, they're out of here, and they never come back. Madonna's from Bay City. That one girl on Breaking Bad, she's from Bay City. Most people from Bay City, if they have the means, they get the hell out of Dodge. I don't know why I came into Dodge and stayed here. Well, I mean, there's a story behind that, but so here I am. The nice thing is, it's very affordable to live here. Like I said, I'm not really trying to plug the town, but if you want to live on the cheap, I mean on the cheap, without living in a total demilitarized zone, this is probably the best bet you're going to get in Michigan. And so my apartment, like I said, the Huntington Place Apartments, which is an older subdivision. It's an older place. It was built probably in the late 60s, early 70s, I can't remember exactly. It's got that like English Tudor look to it. And one thing I noticed when I actually first looked at the apartments, was that they're very small. Now, I've seen small apartments before, but they're tiny. I mean, you're pretty much living in a tiny home. This apartment here is it's a 1-bedroom apartment, 600 square feet. and there is no storage for anything. You've got to be extremely creative, and you've got to basically your entire, it's a Jenga puzzle, this apartment, trying to figure out where everything's going to go. Just a puzzle in general. And it's a constant, never-ending puzzle that I'm constantly battling with. And me, who likes to collect things, they don't mix. Just put it that way. So I'm just going to get into the video. I recorded a video on my phone, just kind of a little tour. I think I cut off a little bit before I wanted to cut off, but it's okay. It's pretty much over at that point. And I'll show you the video, and I'll talk you through it. I'll turn the video. All you can hear is my heavy breathing and grunting in the video, so you can't really hear anything. But I'll narrate it, and we'll watch that here. So let me switch over to that. I'll leave me in the little corner here. Woohoo, there I am. There's my front door. So we'll start at the front door. So you knocked on the door. Knock, knock, knock. I'm going to come to the front door here, and they just recently put these in. These are these electric locks, so there's no keys. It's keyless entry. There's a code that you type in on the outside. At first I was like, what? Because I hate change, and I'm like, what? And then I thought to myself, oh, actually no, that'd probably be pretty cool. I don't have to carry a key now. Literally, when I go out, like, I wear shorts with barely any pockets. I carry my cell phone, I carry my wallet. I don't carry any keys because I don't drive. My car doesn't work. So and I don't need a key to get in the apartment. I got a lanyard that's got like my laundry room key and my mailbox key on it, which I just leave hung up, and I only take it out when I need to use those things. Otherwise, I don't carry a key. So this is it. You got this, and this has an app for your phone, so I can use my phone to control it, which is kind of cool. Same thing with the furnace. The furnace is climate controlled too on my phone. I could check. It's nice though. So if I'm gone and I've been away for a few days, like down to see my mom or whatever, and I'm heading, and I turn the heat down to like whatever 50 degrees in the winter, just so it doesn't freeze, but it just doesn't really run, and that way I don't, because gas is, air conditioning, running all the electronics in here it's nothing. It's nominal. It's barely anything a month. I could leave everything on, and my bill would probably be $50, $60 in the middle of August. When I got which I didn't really run the air that much, but this year. But if you're in the middle of August, July, when you're running the air a lot constantly, which is a wall unit, as you'll see, it doesn't cost. It costs it might go up to $70, and that's gas and electricity together, because I got them combined through consumers. So the only time it ever goes over $100, my bill, is in the dead of winter, during like January, February, and sometimes into March. Although it starts to kind of go down in March a little bit towards the end and get into April. But and it goes up to maybe $120, because gas is super expensive. People are like, oh, well, we can't afford to run the air conditioning. Run the air conditioning. I don't care. It doesn't cost anything. Gas? Yeah, that costs a lot of money. So I try not to run the gas that much. And if I can go away, I turn the gas way down, or turn the furnace way down. And then if it's cold, it's snowing out or whatever, I come back like a half an hour before I get home. I just go on my phone and I turn my furnace back up to like 68, 70. And by the time I walk in the door, it's back to normal. It's kind of a nice feature. I could also check the temperature when I'm away and say, is the furnace working? It'll tell me if the furnace is working or not. And then the doors and stuff, it'll tell me if the doors. Sometimes I've gone away, like I've been out of town, and like the front door is unlocked, like it is. It's a pretty safe. It's safe here. I think we've had one incident that I can think of. It wasn't even an incident in 10 years that I've lived here, going on 11 now. Somebody accidentally shot a gun. It was like a mother came over to her daughter's boyfriend, and she wanted to scare the boyfriend and show him that she had a gun, that she accidentally shot it and shot a hole through the wall. That was the biggest incident that I can think of as far as like dangerous things that have happened and that I know of in here in the last 10 to 11 years. So it's pretty safe. It's pretty quiet. None of the neighbors talk to anybody. Everybody's so self-absorbed and self-interest. There's no community here. I got a couple of people I occasionally might say hi to, But like I got young 20-something Gen Zers living across, these two Hyons that live across the apartment from me. They're not very social. Um, they're into themselves. Uh, I got a lady that lives upstairs. Every time I make any kind of noise, she starts pacing and walking, so I know that it's time to turn things down. But other than that, she's really. Once in a while, she drops something. Like I keep thinking she dropped over dead. Once in a while, she drops something. Jesus. But not bad. The guy lived there before about 8 years ago. He was a douchebag, and he would come home and he would like do weights in the middle of the night and then throw them against the floor. So he's gone. There's a lot of people in this apartment complex, though. A lot of like group apartments where like a lot of special needs people, whether they're whatever they have wrong with them, whatever their special needs are. There's a lot of people on disability that live in the apartments that live together in groups, and a lot of them are walking around. So there's a chance that most people, you walk out the door, you're going to run into somebody who's out of their mind. But they're safe. They're fine. They're not troublesome people. So but there's a lot of those people here. A lot of people, I think they said that Bay City, 60% of the Bay City population is on disability of some sort, whether it's from medical, whether it's from mental, whatever it is. There's some 60% of the city's on disability. So it tells you how affluent this place is. I would say most people are in poverty or low upper poverty. Does that make any sense? Or lower. Let's just put it this way. I haven't checked in like a year or two, but a couple of years ago, maybe pre-pandemic, before the inflation kind of went up, they said that the average income of Bay City per capita, meaning per person, was $18,000 a year. The average household income to working adults was $36,000 a year, and I don't think it's changed much. I think it's pretty much still about the same. So that tells you the type of caliber of people live here. Now, being in Essexville, I live just off, I live just over in because the property taxes go higher in Essexville, and my son goes to Essexville schools, and it's a little bit nicer. They have a couple of, subdivisions that I call Rochester subdivisions, look like my hometown of Rochester, because there's like, 5-bedroom kind of like mansions, but there's like 2 streets of them, and there's maybe like 10 in the entire side on one side, and there's maybe like 8 on the other side, and those are the biggest, newest houses in the entire area, and those are the only rich people that live here. And being rich out here, you can probably get that in Rochester. That house would cost you about $1.2 million. Here, you could probably get one of those houses for about $350,000, $400,000, maybe $500,000 if it's brand new. There's only like I said, there's like 18 houses like that in the entire city. There's a lot of historic houses that go for a lot, but they're like mansions, old school mansions, and they're more like historic houses because it's a pretty historic town. But they're not that nice. I mean, they're old and falling apart, and it's really expensive to keep those up. And the city's real. You have to specifically paint them a certain color. It's it's crazy. Other than that, all the other places here are, questionable. So anyways, let's get into the video. Let me start playing it here. So there's my front door. Let's make sure this all works fine here. Okay, oops. All right, there's my little table I got. I picked that up in a garage sale for $13. That I ordered that light. I'm not going to go through everything, itemize everything I have, but that light also works on what's her face, which her name shall go unnamed, so she doesn't turn something on and off right now. And it can dim that light. And always, every time we walk in the front door with a bag of groceries or something, I knock that light over almost every time because there's no room in here. And that literally is like an inch away from, 3 inches away from the door. There's my oversized recliner chair. Now, people ask me, like, oh, hey, when you worked a day job, which I stopped working my day job right around Christmas time of 2019, which was right before the pandemic hit, and people ask me, hey, did you stop working because of the pandemic? No. I stopped working because of this chair. It got me in trouble. Basically, you're not supposed to take anything from like clients, as far as like clients aren't allowed to like give you anything like gifts or anything, but a client's brother wanted to get rid of this chair because he didn't have any room for it, and he said, "Do you want it?" I said, "Sure." They gave it to me. My company found out I went. So and that's when I was already working part-time as a comic book artist at the time, and that's when I had to. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna be doing this full time, and it was sink or swim, And the first year was pretty rough, but then a couple of months later, obviously into 2020, the pandemic hit, and then nobody's at work. And then I should have just, hopefully, wish I could have kept it, because then I would have been able to collect that sweet, pandemic money from the government for unemployment. No, I couldn't get it. I never got a dime. I got those, what do you call it, those stimulus checks, whatever, the $2,000. I got that because everybody gets that. But outside of that, I didn't get any of that sweet pandemic money that everybody got. So I had to basically bust my ass to survive that first year, and it was rough. Trust me, it was rough. Anyways, so let's keep going here. So this is my tiny little 12 by 15 foot living room. As you can see, it's pretty cramped. There's my bike. That's my only means of conveyance at the moment. My car, my 20-year-old Grand Prix that's sitting out in the parking lot, hopefully doesn't get towed, is dead as a doornail, and it's cost more money to fix it than the car's worth, and I don't have the money to fix it, so there it be. So I can't get back and forth to Rochester to visit my mom who needs help. I can't get back and forth. I can't take my son to school. Somebody else has to pick him up and take him to school. It's inconvenient. However, that said, as inconvenient as that sounds, it's so nice because I don't have I don't have to pay for oil changes. Gas is through the roof. I don't have to pay for new tires. I don't have to pay for car insurance. I don't have to pay, I don't have to go through all of the crap of owning a car. So it saves me, on average, it saves me about $200 a month not operating. I mean, I own the car. I never had a car payment on it. That car was gifted to me from my mother when I got divorced back in 2000, end of 2012, beginning of 2013 when I moved into this apartment. So yeah, since the car's been dead now since last Christmas, so it's almost been a year I've gone carless, and that bike's been my other bike broke, and then I had to pick this. I bought this Schwinn for $100. It's a single gear, fixed gear. I'm not trying to be a hipster with my fixed gear bike. I do like beach cruisers, and I did have a beach cruiser for a while, but the $100 Schwinn was on extra clearance because they were liquidating all these bikes at this bike shop. $100 can't get a Walmart bike for that price, and this one's an actual decent quality. So I got this bike, and like I said, it's been my only means of conveyance for the last almost year now. And I'll get a little closer. I'll show you. I got saddlebags on it, and that's how I get my groceries to and from. Now I live right across the street from Kroger grocery store, so I can walk too. It's kind of a drag in the winter, but it's not that bad. But I can grab 2 bags of groceries, or I can load up my bike, and I look like a homeless person, and I can ride my bike across there and get food. I can lock my bike up there, and it's funny. I see a lot of riding through town. There's a lot of middle-aged dudes like myself in this town. A lot of white middle-aged dudes that don't own cars, and they've got these crazy bikes. I think my bike's not that crazy. They got crazy baskets on them and big ape hangers and stuff. They really take a lot of pride in their bikes. They don't have motorcycles. These are just pedal bikes. But that's how they get around town, and that's how they get their groceries, and that's how they function too. I'm seeing a lot more. There's a community of these dudes growing. A lot of, poor white dudes in their middle age, all with bikes, riding around town, and they don't have cars. So times are a changing. But yeah, let's keep going with the video. There's my TV. I put this setup because when I lived in an apartment with my buddies, he had this cool double shelf with like a TV thing, and I just kind of like the configuration, so I kind of made my own out of my own stuff. And those are those cheap $35, bookcases. They used to sell them at Target. Now they can't get them at Target for that cheap anymore. You got to go online for those. There's my dining room table. That was a garage sale. Most of my stuff in my apartment is used or garage sale or given to me. I can't afford new stuff. It's new stuff. So even like, go to Art Van when Art Van went out of business here, like Prime Brothers or Gardner White. They even Big Lots. Big Lots has furniture on sale, pretty cheap clearance stuff. And I can't afford that either. So garage sale stuff is what I can afford, or people just give it to me. Now that one was supposed to be in a garage sale by my ex-father-in-law, who I still talk to, my son's grandpa. He's actually one of the people that take me and my son around. He said, "Hey, do you want to buy that table of mine?" Or no, he was going to sell it in the garage sale, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing with this?" He said, "I'm selling it." I go, "What do you want for it?" He goes, "Like $15." And I go, "What? I'll buy it." He says, "You need?" He said, "Oh, that's right. You don't have I didn't have a dining room table for the longest time. There's nothing was over there." And I said, "I'll take it. It's got 4 chairs." And the thing is, it's like old 70s rolled wood brown, where you polish it with some Old English or some Pledge. I love that. It's very 70s-ish, and I like 70s decor, like old school. Let's sit around the table and play Dungeons and Dragons and our 70s stuff looks like it came out of the Sears catalog in the late 70s. I love that decor. And it's like my favorite decor. The most ugly 70s shit is my favorite stuff. And so he said, "I don't even need to give me the $15. You can have it." So I got that for free. It's got a leaf. I got the leaf out in the storage unit in the laundry room. It's like a closet. It's not even a closet. It's like a I can't even describe it. You can't fit shit in there, It's not like a nice, one where like a caged area see in a normal apartment. No, it's like literally like take one of these closets you see. It's like half the height and maybe it goes back maybe 5 feet. It's just a hole in the wall is all it is. And I've got some shit. I've got like Halloween decorations, my son's Halloween decorations. I got the leaf. I've got a few things in there. Yeah, so there's a leaf that table. That table takes up that whole dining. It's not even a dining room. It's just like the corner of the living room. But they consider that the dining room. So we'll go in to see the kitchenette, as they call it. It looks so clean in video. It's not that clean. As you can see, like the doors are all crooked and wonky, and they don't match up, and they're falling apart, and those fronts of these cupboards, these little tops here constantly pop off and hit the ground, and I gotta fix them. This apartment falls apart constantly, and I got the maintenance guys coming here, but sometimes it's like, you know what, it's not even worth putting in a work order because it's just a pain in the ass, because then they gotta come knock on the door, and I gotta answer the door, and I gotta, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot easier for me just to fix this stuff myself, but I'm constantly doing home repair. Everything's constantly falling apart. Yeah, there's a dishwasher there, as I'll show you. I don't use the dishwasher. I said I'm a trailer park boy, and we didn't have dishwashers. And even when my parents were married and we had the normal house as I call it, we didn't have a dishwasher back in the 70s up to 81. So I don't use it that often. I just hand wash all my dishes. It's just me or my son. It's a lot quicker, easier, and cheaper. Like as you see, I'm almost out of paper towel there. I just hand wash everything. Those little scrubbies are awesome. They're like little knitted scrubbies. You can wash them and throw in the washing machine, and they work perfect. They can get almost as tough as steel wool, but don't damage anything. Yeah, I just wash all my stuff. These are really shallow. They're really shitty sinks. It's really cheap, like cheap tin. They came and they put this. They came in a few years ago and they put all these different fixtures in, and I know why they put them all in. It's because they pay for water. Water's part of your rent, and they put these specific faucets on to kind of limit the amount of water you can use. They said, "Oh, we're putting new faucets in. You like that?" No, I want the old faucets back. I don't care if they're rusted and pieces of shit. I want the old faucets back because I can get more water. These ones, so they're a little passive aggressive way of blowing smoke up your ass to basically get out of paying for the water bill. Um, as you can see, I'm out of Dawn Platinum. I need to get some of that today when I run to the store on my bike because my son's coming over for the weekend. That light's been. I got an extra bulb. The maintenance guy gave me a whole box of those bulbs. They're up there, I think, in the cabinet right above it. I just never think about it. And when two go out, then I change it. But when one goes out, I just don't even really pay attention. And they're hot. I mean, if you leave that light on for any length of time, that whole cabinet gets almost feel like it's going to catch on fire. I say they're pretty decent cabinets space in here. Not great, decent. They got a little area up here that you can put like some stuff. That blender is old. I've had that blender for a long time. It's probably one of the oldest things that I own is that blender. It's an old oyster blender. You can see there's a chip out of the thing up there because I dropped it once, like about 30 years ago, and chipped it. But it's a little plastic piece on top. It still works. Chopper. I don't drink coffee, so I keep the coffee machine up there. The only time I ever make coffee is if somebody comes over, which is almost never because nobody wants to come to my shitty apartment. And they drink coffee. I'll make them coffee. My sister won't drink the coffee that I make because she doesn't want to drink the Bay City water because she's uptown and Bay City water is not good enough for her. So it's pointless to make coffee for my sister. Plus, everything I do is wrong to her anyway. So the crock pot, as you can see, needs to be cleaned a little bit. I haven't used it in a while, but I usually make some I love making crock pot food cheap. Like I said, I live like a pauper. I mean, I've learned since I got divorced in the last 10, almost going on 11 years now, to live like a very frugal, very Scotch pockets. All of the stuff that I get, like it says, garage sale, hand-me-downs. I go to most of my cooking utensils. Everything's bought at the dollar store. The dollar store's just down the rail trail. I'm constantly buying stuff at the dollar store. Everything I buy is cheap. Nothing's really of any good quality. It's as cheap as I can buy. Go to Walmart. Big Lots is a place you can get a lot of really cheap stuff. I go wherever I can get the cheapest stuff at. All my cookware set, as you'll see as I go across the oven, all my cookware is like old shitty. I got the entire cookware set for like $20. And it's a piece of garbage, but I've had it for 10 years now, and it still works, still functions, so I'm going to continue to use it until something gets worn out. But yeah, like I said, I live pretty frugal. As you can see, I'll show you my refrigerator that usually has nothing in it. I mean, I live right across the street from the grocery store. If I need something, food, I just go across the street and get it. I usually go about every 3 days, spend about $50-$60. As you can see, I have barely anything in there. My son's Bomb Pops, which he is addicted to. Got my Big K grape soda, which actually tastes like crap, which I actually have a can open here. I gotta drink some Big K's. But, like I said, I don't drink coffee. I can't because of my acid reflux, so I drink Monster. It's not great for you, but it keeps me focused. Like I said, I do my best work, and I work, about 8 o'clock in the morning I start working, and I usually don't stop until about 4 o'clock, and then I start recording a video, and then after I record the video, then it's time to make dinner, and then sometimes I'll go back to work, but most of the time I just take it easy for the rest of the night. So I practice my bass for an hour, or my guitar for an hour, whatever I'm playing at the particular time, and do that stuff. But yeah, the refrigerator's usually got nothing in it for the most part. Got some my mango, my Kroger brand mango iced tea, mango green iced tea. There's some cartoon I saw in some trailer park family, and they're like going, we gotta stock up on the mango green tea. I love the powdered mango green tea. One thing's about $2, and you can make about three of those gallons of it. So I drink the mango tea. I get Big K pop because it's cheap. Sometimes Faygo. Faygo tastes kind of weird lately. Love my Rock and Rye, my red pop. And then, I'll drink Monster I'll drink one a day. And as you can see, I got more condiments and stuff than I have food. There's nothing in those bottom two cupboards. I kind of have to constantly be wiping them out because they get dusty. Believe it or not, they get dusty in the refrigerator. Got some salt and some olive oil, stuff like that. Like I said, all of this stuff here, it's an electric stove, so it's pretty efficient. I drink once in a while in the summer. I drink more tea, like hot tea, so I'll make myself some hot tea. But like I said, all this stuff is either dollar store stuff, Big Lots, whatever's cheap. That little ladle stay in there. I think my mom gave me that. Like I said, I guess this video is this is a minimalist video. If you want to watch a video and learn how to survive on barely any money, I'll tell you how to do it. It's living like this. It's not glamorous. It isn't going to get the chicks. Trust me. I don't think there's been a female outside of my sister or my mom who's been in this apartment in the last 10 years. So you're not getting ladies living like this, living like a, I guess, Anyway, so here's my recipes for my soups. I make a lot of soups about this time because they're good for you and they're cheap, and I can control how much sodium's in it because of my high blood pressure, and I can control a lot of the processed food I don't really want to put in here. I eat a lot of processed food for frozen dinners. But the vegetable beef soup is my son's soup because I buy the beef when he's here. When he's not here, I can't afford to buy beef, so I don't eat the beef. I get him the beef, but I just have the vegetable, or I'll make chicken noodle if the chicken's on sale. Otherwise, I use chicken broth to make noodle soup. Buttered Scadian butter. I'll eat some Scadian butter. Yeah, so I got that. I pretty much know the recipe, but I got it up there just in case I have a brain fart. Oh wait, when is that? This is coming up, isn't it? When is this? October 7th. Oh, it's coming up. This record convention. If you go down the rail trail, go past Meijer, which I really don't go to Meijer much anymore because Meier's too expensive. I go to Kroger, it's cheaper. Across there from Meier's is American Legion Hall, and that Legion Hall across there has little conventions once in a while. I don't want to do comic book conventions, but do record conventions. So I usually try to make it to these. They do about 4 a year. Like every 3 months they do a record convention, so I try to go to those. You can find some good stuff there. And people are pretty nice, and it's like a comic. It's like, I wish they would have a comic book convention like this. So it reminds me of the Extravacon I was telling you about at the Royal Oak Legion Hall, where it was like a small show, all dudes. They're not a chick to be found. All middle-aged dudes, and they're all super serious, and they're really, and they're all, it's funny. Okay, so like hipsters are, younger, like millennials or zennials that are like all aficionados and audiophiles and coffee, blah, 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 and they're all into their stuff with their twirly mustaches and beards. Then there's 50-year-old middle-aged dudes. They got beards like myself because we don't shave because we're lazy. We're all out of shape because we eat like shit. And we don't exercise, and we're into our things, whether it's comic books, whether it's records, whatever, and we're not hipsters, but we're not cool. We don't have fancy socks and fancy shoes and twirl our mustaches and stuff. These are a bunch of like dudes with jean shorts and NASCAR shirts and wear their white tube socks up to their knees with their leather New Balance shoes. The kind of guys that have a fifth wheel and have and go ice fishing and have they've got their Mustang Mach 1 '69 Mustang Mach 1 that they're restoring in their garage. These are the kind of guys, they're most of them are all factory rats and stuff anyways if they do get money. They're construction guys. These are the kind of guys that go to record conventions. They're not hipsters. We don't live in a big city where there's fancy people and a bunch of douchebags. Some of these guys can be douchebags, trust me, but we're just middle-aged dudes that if we have wives, we want to get the hell away from them, and most of us don't have wives because chicks don't like dudes like us. So that's where we go. We go to record conventions and look for old records, or comic book conventions and look for comic books. Yeah, the hipster thing is for young people. Yeah, there's Mother Hubbard's cupboards. There ain't much in there. I got a lot of spices and cooking stuff. There's the coffee that never gets used, which I don't know if there's a shelf life in coffee, but there's a shelf life in coffee. Look at it. Reuse your Amazon boxes. Don't throw those things away or recycle them. Use them. They come in handy. All these Amazon boxes come in handy. You know. But yeah, as you can see, there's my mango tea here. Mango green tea. Powdered mango green tea. Got a little bit of honey left. Almost out of bags. Yeah, it's Mother Hubbard's cupboards around here. I got to go to the grocery store today, and I'm not going to be buying a lot, trust me, because I can't even bring it back. I can't get that stuff, my stuff with me. Like about 3 days worth of worst stuff I can get on my bike. And I got my son's. Oh, speaking of my son, there's the closet here in the dining room. It's packed to the gills. I didn't want to open it all the way because everything would just come falling out. Got all of his, he's got so many Nerf guns. And it's just like, oh my goodness, like, what are you going to do with these Nerf guns? We got to get rid of them, because, or take them to your mom's. She's got a basement. She's got a 3-bedroom house. Go take them over there. You know, I have no room for this stuff, and he doesn't use any of it anymore. But he doesn't want to get rid of it either. He's like me. He doesn't want to throw stuff away. But there it is, just packed to the gills with Nerf guns and other accoutrements. I've got some of my old tools from being a mechanic in there. Got another toolbox down there. Most of my big tools, my big toolbox, I sold off to other mechanics and sold all my nicer tools, which you know, when I was a mechanic, I couldn't afford Snap-on either. I couldn't find fancy stuff. For me, it was Harbor Freight and Auto Value is the cheapest crap that I get all the slip and kills. Slip and kills is what I used to call them. Or all the wrenches that you literally slip and kill yourself because they're such shitty wrenches. That's all I used to use to work on stuff. I had a Snap-on bag they gave to me just because they wanted me to buy Snap-on tools. Oh, I got a free Snap-on bag. I think I had like 2 Snap-on tools. I just can't afford that shit. I mean, that stuff's expensive. Like, stupid expensive. Like, beyond, like I'm talking like, you know, Area 51, $35,000 toilet seat, stupid expensive. Just like, oh, come on. Harbor Freight is where I buy my tools at. That's why I'm not a mechanic anymore. That's why I wasn't a good one to begin with. But yeah, there's the Christmas tree, which I really don't want to put. I have nowhere to put it. I have nowhere to put this Christmas. I had a place before. Now that I have the table and stuff, I don't have anywhere to put my Christmas tree, and I don't really want to drag all that stuff out. You know, if it wasn't for my son, I would not celebrate Christmas. You know, like I said, I'm an agnostic, apathetic agnostic. I don't really care about the holidays. Holidays to me are more depressing, if anything. And it just means spending more money and hauling trees out and putting trees up. And I don't want to put the tree up. And I didn't buy the tree. My parents gave me the tree so we could have a tree. And it's nice. I mean, I enjoyed it. But, I mean, I still want to. As you can see, I buy the cheap bag of Halloween candy, and I put it in the bowl. My sons basically took all the good stuff out of there and left me with just the Tootsie. I love Tootsie Rolls, but I can't eat that many of them because they bother my acid reflux. But looks like we have to refill the candy dish at some point here. This is my china cabinet. It's not even a china cabinet. Hey, look, there's me. Hey, oh. Anyways, there's the Squadron. Oh, darn it! Sorry, I just Squadron Millennium Falcon. Most of these books are my son's books. There's the laundry quarters and the Tootsie Roll Bank. There's Catan. We like to play Catan. I can't remember where I got that picture. It used to be in the bathroom, not anymore. Now it's out here. There's the ceiling fan. And I think it's nice that, okay, if you don't want to run the air conditioning, fans. Like I said, it doesn't really cost a lot to run the air conditioning. My air conditioning's loud. Like, you can't sit there and watch TV with the air conditioning on because you can't hear the freaking TV. And nobody knows how to mix TV shows anymore anyways, so I can never hear what the hell's going on. So I just run the fans more often to keep the windows open. Like I said, there's my tiny living room. There's my son's Fender Champagne guitar amplifier that he uses, which I can only turn it up to 2 because I live in an apartment. There's Dark Towers, Twilight Imperium, some board games there. There's the Tamiya RC stuff. There's that. I'm thinking about doing. If you guys can help me get to 1,000 subscribers, right? This is just an idea. I'm not saying I'm going to do this. It's just an idea. Tell me if you're interested. But if I can get people to help me get my subscribers up to 1,000, when I hit 1,000, I don't use this Akai. It's an Akai MIDI controller. It's like a $100 item. I've barely used it. I was going to use it for Cakewalk. I haven't really used it. My son doesn't really like to use it. It's also medium keys. But that said, if you're into that, you want that kind of thing. I was thinking about doing a giveaway. I'd just pack it up, ship it out to whoever. I don't know how to choose who would get it. I guess you'd do like the last person to subscribe. But I mean, that doesn't. If you're trying to help me by getting your buddies to subscribe, that doesn't really help you any. But I'll come up with something. But maybe I'll just pick somebody at random. I don't know how to do that and make it fair. But I was thinking about doing a giveaway for this Akai MIDI controller if I can get people to get me to 1,000 subscribers. Just a thought. Tell me what you think about that as far as an idea. Those are not Copics, by the way. Well, there's one thing of Copics over there, by the way, which a buddy gave to me to do a commission, which I sort of did. But the other ones are all cheap 5 Below markers. I've found that the cheap 5 Below markers work better than the Copics, and the Copics are they're Snap-on money expensive, like $8 a marker. $8 I can get like 24. Yeah, less than that. 5 Below. They're $5. I can get all those markers, and I don't really use markers much anymore. They're more there for like touching up stuff, that gets scratched more so than I use as markers. There's a few of this stuff. Here's my books. I think I go into a little bit of detail here. There's my Amber Chronicles, my Dragonlance, my Mars, Edgar Rice Burroughs Mars. This is my Robotech books. Those are pretty. I haven't done a video on those. Oh, that was my that Lord of the Rings set was actually my sister's back from like the 70s, and it's still hers. And if she ever wants it back, she can have it, but she's never asked for it back. So I've been the steward of it for a very long time. That's all I have is Blu-ray and DVD. Outside of the G.I. Joe and He-Man and Real Ghostbusters cartoons over here on the shelf. That's pretty much all. That's all I have. I've got Game of Thrones, one season of Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings box set. There's my Zork books, my Robert Asprin Myth books. There's my Piers Anthony Xanth books. That's my son's Grayskull, which he never plays with, and I got him for Christmas the year I got my Grayskull, Christmas 22. No, Christmas 21. There's my Darth Vader collecting case, which is the one I got from the antique store. That's not my original, because my original would have a Def Leppard and Iron Maiden sticker on the back of it with my address written in gold paint pen. But which I'm not going to do to this one, but I got to get some repro stickers. I've cleaned it out. It's pretty clean, and all the little brackets all fit and work. But again, I might open up my Star Wars figures and put them all in here just like I had when I was a kid. But I just haven't done it yet. This studio recliner, this is real leather. This isn't cheap. But the thing is, my mom and my stepdad had this since like the mid-90s. And my mom's like, hey, do you want that chair? Because they wanted to get rid of it. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with it? And I'm like, nothing. I looked at it and I'm like, no, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no rips, no tears in it. It's definitely well-aged leather. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So I took it. And it's got a matching ottoman. It reclines. That is my chair. When my son comes over, he commandeers the big cushy chair, which really isn't that cushy. To tell you the truth, I can see why somebody wanted to give it away, although it cost me a job. But that big cushy chair, what do you call it? I usually normally sit in there because I can look straight at the TV, but my son comes over, he likes that chair, so he commandeers it, and this is my auxiliary chair that I end up sitting on when my son's here. I got my little $15 table from Target. It's just a piece of junk. There's my 55-inch Samsung 4K TV, smart TV. Again, you know, I got it on Black Friday, 2018 Black Friday at Hawthorne. It was $399 for their Black Friday sale, and my sister and my mom and stepdad, they all bought it for me for Christmas because my other TV, my 40-inch Samsung that I got in 2008, it just up and died on me. So they got me a new TV for Christmas in 2018. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have. Well, I could have bought it, obviously, but I mean, I wasn't. It wasn't the top priority in my mind. So they gave me a new TV. That stand I bought with the other TV back in 2008. My sister gave me and my son a PlayStation 4 for Christmas of 2016, I believe, and we've long since had to replace controllers. I've rage broke a few of them myself, and some of them are just stopped working. But my son doesn't usually play the PlayStation much anymore. He has an Xbox that his mom got him, and he brings it over. You know, he's got like the carrying case and brings it over. Because most of his friends play Xbox anyway, so he just plugs into the network there and plays that. I don't play much. I barely play any video games. I played in 2000 when the pandemic hit, we played a lot of Fortnite. And other than that, I don't really play games that often. I guess I prefer games I have more games on my PC on Steam, which I don't play a lot of either. I play I'll get really into a video game for like 2 weeks, maybe like once every year, once every couple of years. But I really don't play a lot of video games. I like them. They're fun. Some of them are fun. Some of them I don't like. But I need to get stuff done. And I don't have a lot of time when my son's not here. Most of the time I play games is when my son's with me because it just gives us something to do. That's my son's... most of my son's stuff over here, that's his Grayskull box. Mine's buried up in my closet, which has boxes inside of it. He just recently took all of his Motu stuff off his shelf, and we've bagged it all up and put it away for storage. He just doesn't really play with it. And then that's his Dungeons and Dragons Dracolich that he bought for like $70 that he wishes he didn't buy. He's like, Dad, can I sell this to somebody? Think somebody will buy it and I can go buy a pedal for my guitar. I don't ask me why. We have 2 cordless headsets that we don't ever use. He doesn't use the PlayStation headset anymore that are corded. There's the Nintendo. I bought the Nintendo Retro NES just because that's what I like that when I was a kid, in the late 80s there in the trailer park. So I kind of I got my son into playing like Super Mario Brothers and like Double Dragon and all those games. So I play those once in a while. They're very hard, and those games make me rage quit all the time. Here's our Dungeons and Dragons. There's obviously my old first edition stuff that I've printed up on the side that all came from PDFs. But all the other stuff we purchased, most of it's my son's, although a lot of the character cards, the main box set with all of the core books, I bought that for myself, but it's kind of ours. We all share it. But we don't really go play D&D anymore. We kind of got burnt out on it. That's all mostly all 5th edition D&D stuff. That's his little... When I used to go to the Renaissance Festival, I always wanted to get the little pendants, little dragon holding a jewel. I thought that was always the coolest thing. So when we were going to the Renaissance Festival like every year for like 6-7 years. We haven't gone since... I don't think we've gone since the pandemic. Well, maybe we did a couple of years ago. But my son... I said, hey, you want to get one of these pendants? He's like, oh, that's super cool. I said, yeah, that's what I used to get when I was a kid. I always loved the pendants. So we got one of those, and he doesn't wear it. It just sits there. It's not cool. It wasn't cool when I had it either, because I was a geek. Almost all of the miniatures here are his. Some of them are the pre-painted ones. Obviously, some of them he actually painted really well. Some unopened stuff of his PS4 games, or just others. Most of those are just storage thing. Oh, there's all the extra bankies. His Minecraft banky. There's all the bankies. There's my air compressor I use to pump up the tires on our bikes. My mom gave me those. Those came from my mom's basement. Those pillows. This futon, this fake leather futon that reclines into a bed. Actually, I got this when I first moved in. When I got divorced, I found a buddy who was selling it, and he gave me like $50, so I got that thing. It's not that great. Here's the thing: is I need a new couch. The problem with this futon thing, it looks fine. It's actually in pretty decent shape, and I've taken pretty good care of it. But the thing is, it has no arms, and so I hate couches with no arms because I have nothing to lean my head against. You put a stack of pillows behind you, the pillows just slide right off the end. I want a couch with arms, so because nobody ever sits in this thing unless there's people come over, and which is almost never, because remember, nobody wants to come to my shitty apartment. There's my saddlebags. This is how I get my groceries home, or if I buy some records or buy something downtown, this is how I get things home. I've got bungee cords. I can strap things to the back of that. I put a crate on there if I want and strap the crate to that. Yeah, that's pretty much my big fancy. There's the infamous chair. A good thing to do is you get an apartment. Of course, every apartment's got the lightest carpet. They do that on purpose so you fuck up the carpet and then they don't give you your security deposit. That's what I swear they do. But every apartment's got... Why don't they just come out with black or dark gray carpet in all the apartments? Something that doesn't show all the stains. It's my son's cubby. That's my son's... Well, it's ours. My mom gave me that. My sister gave my mom this Yamaha keyboard like 10 years ago, and she never used it, and it sat in her basement. And then my mom's like, "You want that keyboard down there? You have a keyboard?" "Yeah, it's a nice keyboard down there." My sister's like, "I got her that keyboard, and she never uses it." I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll take it, I guess. I don't have any room for it, but I'll take it." So I took it, and then my son started playing music and took right to music. I said, "Well, there you go, Kai. Here, take this keyboard and start playing the piano," which he plays really good. Actually, this Yamaha, I like Yamaha products. This keyboard's like, like a $400 or $500 keyboard, but it's actually sounds really good for. It's got MIDI on it. It's not a cheapo, Casio from Walmart. This is actually a pretty decent keyboard. And so I bought him a keyboard stand, so he could put it in the corner in his little cubby. That's my old office chair I used to use, or gaming chair. Now that I got the new one, which is broken, I'll show you that. That's his red Ibanez 100 series guitar. Oddly enough, his mom got him that for Christmas last year, and then my sister and I got him a 200 series blue Ibanez, which is a better guitar. He's like, "Well, I like the blue one better. I don't like the red guitar as much." Okay, so why is the red one at my place and the blue one at his mom's? Because I like the blue one better. Okay, so we've spent more money on a guitar that he doesn't use over here. Alright, that's fine. Just weird. I don't really care. I mean, they're his guitars, do what he wants. This is Stranger Things poster. I think he got that from like a school fair, and it's just been on the wall ever since. There's my... It is newer, and it's digital. It's got a remote. There's the wall unit. It's very efficient. It's a 220 line, which I'm always worried. When I was worried my son was little that he'd get electrocuted and get killed with, but... This 220 line, or this air conditioner, it cools the apartment pretty well, and it's a tiny apartment. But things, it's loud as fuck. And like I said, you can't run this and watch TV. You can't hear the TV unless you put headphones on, and even then it's loud. So it's not that great. I just use that fan right there, which is going right now. There's his Minecraft light. My mom got him that from Target. Back when he was obsessed. He still plays Minecraft, but he was obsessed with Minecraft. There's an Echo Dot. So I've got an Echo Dot there. There's an Echo Dot here in my bedroom. The English girl is in the bedroom. My saucy girl. I don't call her, I kind of call her by her name. Can't change her name, but Hazel. That's what I call it. My fictitious AI girlfriend is Hazel, the British girl. She's the one that's in the bedroom with me. She gets really angry when I start trying to get her to talk dirty to me. She won't do it. She goes, "I'm not going to talk about that." I won't talk about that. Come on. Can't even get anywhere with the AI chick. But yes, it's the default voice out here in the living room. But I got one in the bedroom, one here, and then I got one in the bathroom, which is on a night light. My son's Halloween mask that he may or may not use for Halloween. His gig bag. His tapes. He keeps there's his brown banky that he's had since he's been a baby. He still likes his brown banky. Yeah, shoes. Like I said, they come in. Did I even show? Oh, I must have missed it. So I got a coat rack there and shoe rack. And so when I walk in, I try to keep my shoes off so I don't track in crap because I don't have a breezeway. Right outside that door is outside, like the elements. Like there's no, it's an open breezeway. So the problem is there's nowhere to wipe your feet, no rug, no, it's not temperature controlled. You're walking right in out of the elements. And that door radiates cold. And I'm in the basement. This is the garden level. This is the hobbit hole, the dungeon. You know, as you can see when I show you the window here. I'll show you the window. It's about 4 feet off the ground is the window. And so I'm 4 feet into the ground. And then the other, whatever remaining feet is open to the courtyard, which is right outside the windows. There's my... oh man, I'm gonna kind of, this might be a little longer video, but here's my just crafty table that I use. I pull out when I need, or extra seating for people want to come over and sit, but nobody comes over because they don't want to come to my shitty apartment. So screw you guys. I think my mom got me that one year for Christmas. I put all the guy's baby pictures in there. Who's that guy? Who that little baby? Who that guy? There's that guy. Bathroom. As you can see, I've got turn the light on. There's the sink. Hello, me. It's me again. I wanted to use that joke. Ha ha ha! It's me again. Anyways, there's I got my Iron. I'm not a huge. I mean, I like that Iron Man specifically. I'm not super crazy on Iron Man. It's just those were. I got those at like Meijer. I got these at Meijer. I love the X-Men obviously, but the Iron Man. I liked Iron Man when I was a kid, so I got some Iron Man ones. But it's like all they had. They had a couple of X-Men ones. There's my shower. As you can see, this is how high on the hog I live, right? I buy the $2.99 Men's Suave body wash that I use for my hair, everything. I don't use fancy. That's why my hair looks like shit all the time. I don't use fancy conditioner or anything. I just take care of my, I don't, not just step out of a salon. I use $2.99 stuff that's probably eating my hair and giving me cancer because it's cheap. So I don't live extra. Trust me. You want to learn how to live on the cheap, you come talk to me. I'll tell you how to live like just one step out of homelessness. Tub, which always looks like it needs to be recocked and all that stuff, and the maintenance guy says, "Oh, well, we can recock it," but it's like, yeah, can you just replace the tiles? It looks like the place is falling apart, and they don't want to invest any money into it. It's not terrible, but it just kind of irritates me. There's I bought that one rug on the floor at Meijer for like $15. My mom gave me the other one. Does it match? No. Do I care? No. I got it for free. I didn't have to buy it, so there you go. Going into the bedroom. Obviously, here's where I'm at here and here. Here's where all the magic happens. That's where I put the action figures I pulled off the wall until I figure out what I want to do with them. All the Star Wars figures, the retro figures. I love these. These are cheap and they're perfect. Let's see if I can get it focused. That is, these are like that one here. It's a triple, which is like $20, $25, and then there's the 6 one, which was like $35. They won't fit albums, so you can't use them for storing albums because they're like 11.5 inches, these squares. But they're perfect for like magazines, most books fit in there. Comic books fit in there perfectly, and as you can see, most of them are comic books. But they're perfect and they're cheap, and they don't come out very far, so they're not very deep. They don't take up a lot of space. And like I said, I've got all my comics are in there. My graphic novels, my comics. I don't put my comics in the boxes anymore. Long boxes, short boxes. They just take up too much space. I just throw them into here, and most of the stuff, all my videos I've been showing you, they're all pretty much everything's in there. There's a Cobra Hiss box. I've got some like I said, I couldn't figure out where to put the G.I. Joe empty boxes I wanted to keep. Actually, there's a couple of them behind those comics because I got like a little bit of space. But I really like those. Those are nice. There's Snake Mountain. There's some unopened He-Man guys, some Motu Origins. There's my Gray Skull, my obviously my Eagle Talons, Zoar, Screech, and then there's my here's my room. I just gotta do a scan of my room. That's my little office over there in the corner. As you can see, I took the stuff down off the walls. You can see the pins are still there from the action figures. I haven't taken the pins down yet, but yeah, my other nightstand. I said everything works off of what's her face. My classical guitar. There's my bedroom closet. Okay, now here. Oh, you'll see. I mean, maybe you won't see it, but if I had the sound up, you'll hear me say "fuck." I hate these frickin' bifold doors. They never stay on. They always fall apart. And every time the maintenance guys come in and fix it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know. We haven't really replaced any of these." Well, when are you gonna replace them? Because I'm so sick of them. Every other time I go to grab them, they fall off in my hand. And he's adjusted them. I've adjusted them. They don't work. They're pieces of shit. I moved my guitar here. There's the Spectre. I got that because I was using the acoustic one last night. The top of my bedroom is just filled. Those are all just empty boxes from the He-Man stuff. Some of the unopened stuff I have up there, but a lot of it's just, I save the empty box. I want to keep the boxes. I like them. So that's all filled up with just empty toy boxes. All my Ghost shirts, my son's clothes, vacuum. That's all my guitar cases and gig bags are wedged back there. As you can see, I take up, every little nook and cranny. Now watch, let's see if the door falls off. Yeah, right there. See, I was like, fuck, come on. Then I gotta fix that. I was looking around, I think it's over in the corner. I haven't picked it up yet. The little thing flew out of it. My bed. So obviously you can tell my son, even though he should be sleeping by himself, and he can sleep out on the I'll sleep out on the freaking futon. He can take the bed, but I sleep on the one side, then when he's over, he kicks me over to the other side because he doesn't want the boogeyman to get him. He'd rather have the boogeyman get me. So I told him boogeyman come right through the window too, so he wants that side, which is the side I normally sleep on, which is fine. So I kind of bop it back and forth so I don't, wear out one side of the mattress. But he's going to have, I don't have an extra bedroom for him. This isn't a 2-bedroom apartment, but he's going to have to start sleeping by himself pretty soon, but he just doesn't, which is fine. He's only over here like 3 nights a week, so it's fine if he sleeps with me. But he's got his Death Tyrant pillow, and he gets mad when I take his Death Tyrant pillow and use it. He's like, "Dad, you took my Death Tyrant pillow." So I got to switch the pillow when he comes over, because he's coming over today. I had to switch the pillows to the right side so it doesn't have a conniption fit about it. It's more funny than it is anything. So here's my Motu collection. I've gotten the Detolf. So to get this Detolf was a project. I'm like, oh, these Detolfs are like $80, $75 at IKEA. These are perfect for what I want, right? How much does it cost to ship from IKEA up to Bay City? Because there's only one IKEA in Michigan, and it's down in Novi, right? Which is even south of where my mom lives in Rochester, southwest. They want $199 because it's all glass. They want $199 to ship a 75 item. I said, fuck that. Not doing it. So I said, how can I get this? So my sister, now the IKEA is right down the street from the airport, pretty close to the airport. So when my sister flies in from Arizona at Christmas time, she rents an SUV at the what do you call it? And she's got to come up, we got to come up and get my son, even when I had a car, we got to come up and get my son or take my son back for switch for the holidays. So I said, hey, I'm going to buy a Detolf cabinet. It's like a glass cabinet. It comes flat packed. It'll fit in the SUV that you rent if you rent a full-size SUV. I said, I'm going to buy it, and all you do is just pick it up. It's already paid for, and then when you bring it, we'll bring it back up to my house, my apartment, when we go to bring my son back and forth for the holidays. So that's what we did. It was a fiasco. Not a fiasco, but it was a major project. It's all my life. It seems like it's been just how to solve problems, and problems that I create, of course. But so that's how I got the Detolf, and I would like another one. I don't know where I'd put it, but I don't want to go through that crap again. So I store them all on, they're all on cupcake risers. I got some clear acrylic cupcake risers which fit, 3 guys across, and then I use the NECA stands, the NECA clear stands for them because they fit perfect and they don't, Tila and Evelyn are a little wonky on them, but all the dudes pretty much fit pretty good on it. And then, and I can fit all my guys in these. The lighting, I went to Home Depot, they had these Home Depot lights that I rigged up the lighting for. Most people who are into this stuff, you do this anyways. And then there's, like I said, I just got the 82 through 84, but, they didn't come out like that. They came out in different waves, but I've got all the figures. I don't want any more figures. I might buy Cyclone, maybe, I'm not sure, probably not. But I got all the dudes there, and then the vehicles and stuff. There's that Castle Grayskull exclusive set, Stridor, what do you call it, the Roton, there's Wind Raider. I'm hoping they come out with that battle ram, the back of that battle ram, but, there's my G.I. Joe, He-Man cartoon. Like I said, most of the stuff you guys have seen videos on. There's my Rochester Falcons 1991 yearbook, which I pull out periodically if I either want to depress myself, get angry, or if I'm on the phone with my one buddy, the gifting friend, and our conversations usually devolve after 3 or 4 hours into one of two things: WWF professional wrestling or high school. And so whenever I said, you remember? No, I don't remember. Or he says, do you remember? No, I don't. It's usually this person's dead. Hey, do you remember that person? Yeah, what happened? He's dead. He just died of a brain aneurysm. I pull out the yearbook. I know it's morbid, but, or remember that hot chick? Who was that hot chick? What was her name? Let's look her up. I'm going to look up the hot chick that I went to school with. That's what that's for. There's the computer. So there's my 4K monitor. It's a nice monitor. There's my Ghost tapestry that's up there that's new. Got my Logitech speakers. This is my keyboard. Various. I said everything's on. So I got this USB hub, as you can see, it's right here, and they're powered, so you can turn everything on and off. That's why it's nice. So I got like 6 USBs in the tower, but I like this USB hub. It works pretty good. You can power all my external stuff from there. The camera's powered from it. Which there's my camera. That's the camera I record on. It's a Logitech Brio. It's 4K, so that's why if you ever notice, I got pretty good quality of video. It's not terrible. Listen, I still haven't put my Super 7 G.I. Joe guys away yet. They're still sitting there. That's my little fan I got here. It's what my CPU fan, because my CPU gets hot and if I start getting angry at the computer or getting angry here sitting at my desk, right, or get hot because I'm angry, my little human CPU fan, I got to keep that so I cool my CPU, otherwise my motherboard will melt down. Also right by my mouse to keep my hand, and then I'll switch it over and I'll move it over for my Wacom and keep my hands cool, because I'm a fat bastard, so, and I'm a furnace too. I'm always sweaty and hot, and so my hands are just perfect. My friends hated when I used their video game controllers. They used to give me shit all the time. God, what did you do to my controller? What? It's like, what, you just slime it or something? Like every time I'd use their controllers, they're like, my controller is like hot, like literally physically hot to the touch, and it's all slimy from hand sweat. So I don't use my friends' controllers anymore. Screw you guys. What do you call it? My hands sweat profusely. So, oof, this is a long video. Sorry. There's my 2 useless pieces of paper. There's my first useless piece of paper from Oakland University. I have a bachelor's arts degree in East Asian Studies, Japan. Have I ever been to Japan? No. Can I speak Japanese? No. Do I have a Japanese wife? No. Why do I have this degree? It's paid for. I don't owe any money on it. I don't have student loans, but I don't know whether to wipe my ass with this or smoke it or just leave it in the frame up here. This is my college degree that does me nothing. So, if you have children or if you're thinking about going to college, go for something useful. Don't go to anything that's a Bachelor of Arts. Always go for a Bachelor's of Science. I'm not smart enough to go for a Bachelor's of Science because I can't do math. And, you know, I did great in this. I think I graduated with honors at 3.7 from Oakland University in poppycock. Don't go to and don't ever get a degree that has the word studies behind it either. Also a big mistake. It's useless. It doesn't get you anywhere. I've learned that at 50 years old and after going to college, realized that, you know what, the only way to make it in this world is doing stuff with your hand. Do stuff, is work. You gotta learn this stuff yourself. You know what I mean? If you want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, you want to be something that requires a degree, yeah, you're going to have to get a degree, but that's also a bachelor in science or a master's or a doctorate in science. But anything else is pretty much useless. So I put them up there just to remind myself of my waste of time. Although I did have fun, and I did get to mess around with a lot of girls that were younger than me, which was nice. I miss that. I miss just being around hot chicks all the time that are younger than me, that you may or may not be able to trick into having sex with you. There's my. When I moved up to Bay City. I went to Delta and got a associate's in applied science in automotive service technology. I actually used that one for quite a while until I stopped, and I had to stop because of just. Well, for one thing, my last shop I worked at went out of business, but I couldn't do it anymore. 2 hernia surgeries, and I couldn't physically be a mechanic anymore. I wasn't a good mechanic either, too, so it was good. As I can notice, I've got all my fingers, and I haven't severely hurt myself, so I got out while it was good. So there's another degree to constantly remind me of wasting time, and I should have just, did what I'm doing now then, but I didn't, because I listened to other people. Other people tell me, don't do the art stuff, it's a waste of time. You're not gonna make any money and blah blah blah. So I listen to everybody, and everybody tells me that, and I realized, you know what? I should have not listened to anybody a long time ago. And what the hell is this? Advertisement. Anyways, yeah, I should have just did what I wanted to do right off the bat, and don't listen to anybody. I also have a fine art, or what do you call it, associate's degree in fine arts, which I think I ripped it on accident, so it's sitting in my file cabinet down there. So I have 2 associate's degree and a bachelor's degree. I mean, and the associate's degree in art, I mean, that's probably the only one that really was sort of useful. I didn't get a full bachelor's degree, and I don't like fine art. That's the thing, is I like drawing. I like doing comic books and illustration, but I don't like fine art. There's the Wacom there. Oh, there's my Xbox controller I use for my computer. Right now I'm playing well, I'm not really playing it, but once in a while I'll play I got the Halo Master Chief Edition. I wanted to kind of relive, me and my friend online together, we're reliving our Halo days back from when Halo came out. But he's been busy and I've been busy, so neither one of us have played in a while. There's the Wacom. Again, my buddy gave me this for Christmas last year. He also gave me the Wacom Cintiq before that. And my sister gave me the Intuos before that. So I've never bought one of these myself. They've always been gifted to me. And but this is where I do. Anybody who's a client of mine or a fan of my artwork, this is where all the magic happens. This is where I spend the majority of my day, is sitting hunched over this thing and cranking out comic book pages. So there it is, if you wanted to see it. Right now I'm using it for my auxiliary monitor. There's Warduke, my fan. As you can see, I got a bay window right up, or a big window above me there. I got closed because it's too much light for filming at the moment. So that goes out to the courtyard, just like you saw in the living room. My filing cabinet with all my important documents in it. Like I said, I pulled out the acoustic Ibanez right now. There's the bed. See, the Death Tyrant's on his side right now, and I put the old school D&D box set one on my side. Normally it's the other way around, but because he's staying the night, he wants to sleep on this side. And then tablet. There's the other. There's Hazel. There's my Klipsch bookshelf speaker. Of course, you guys have seen this, the hi-fi records. There's my records. Like I said, I got the Ibanez out right now, the acoustic. That's what I was playing last night. I actually put it on my bed over there. Got the other one. And I've got over in the corner, that's a 25-watt Rumble, Fender Rumble bass amp. It's really nice. Actually, I really like it. I really like the head on it. I really like the sound it does. It's got a really nice sound. It was like $110 or something like that. I got it that, and I got that bass both on Black Friday last year. So I got them really cheap. That bass was crazy cheap, and I can see why. It's not a piece of junk. It's just I don't know. I bought it out because I never had acoustic bass, and I always kind of get one. And the deal was so good. It's like almost a $300 bass. I got it for like $125 on Black Friday, and with a hard shell case too. That's crazy cheap. So yeah, I thought for that money, I got the amp for less than $100 because it was on sale. I'm like, all right, I guess that's fine. I'll take it. And there's that other bookshelf back there. Is the G.I. Joe stuff. Those are my son's records over there. He wants to leave them here. He didn't want to take them to his mom's. There's the Transformers. Oh, come on. Right now, that's got the Seventh Son poster. I don't know why I keep showing you this, but yeah, there's that. Some other stuff, comic books, physical comic book pages that I've drawn are back there. There's he's at right now. Those are those guys. You can tell I need to dust. I haven't dusted in about a week or so. I pulled some of that stuff down. I thought I dusted when I pulled the stuff. I guess I didn't dust very well. Those are the vintage figures. I said, I don't know if I'm going to keep collecting those. I haven't bought. They're too expensive now. 9 numbs, $20. And it's like, all right, I want the retros anyways. The Snake Mountain box is up there at the moment. So here's my chair. So last Christmas, my mom got me this chair to replace the one that I had, which I had the other one since 2008. And it was a nice chair. It was like $120 at like Costco. That was pretty nice. So she got it for me for Christmas. I sit in this chair so much that my big fat ass just broke the back of it. As you can see, I'll pull it out. Back came out. It's like got like this rubbery jelly stuff, and it just ripped right off because of my fat girth rubbing into it. So I can't. I'll fix it maybe eventually if I figure out how to fix it. But for right now, I just put it back there. It slips down a little bit. It gets a little off place, but it functions, and it's a new chair. I don't want to throw the chair out, whatever, or get another one. So for right now, it's fine. I'm sure it's destroying my back. But again, I hunch over. I draw with my nose anyways, so which is pointless because you can zoom in on the screen. But still, I draw with my nose. I always draw with my nose. So I can, so I don't really even rub. I'm more like right now I'm leaning against it, but it's fine. Oh yeah, right here, I forgot. This just came in the mail right before while I was making that video. So let's do it real quick. Oh god, 1 hour and 23 minutes. I guess it'd be a long video. You know what? I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna leave you on a cliffhanger here. What is it? It's a record. I probably already told you what it is, but I ordered 2 records, and they're both supposed to be delivered today, and only one's been delivered so far. I bought 2 records. Well, actually, I bought this record is my weekly allowance. My other record I had already pre-ordered, so I already had paid for it, and it's now it ships today because it comes out today's 29th. If you remember, if you watch my videos, and you know what album was supposed to come out on the 29th of September that I've been waiting for, which I think I just heard it. Well, Hazel. She'll tell me, Hazel. She'll tell me when it's delivered or not. But anyways, yeah, so This video is way too long. I don't want to go into it, so I'm gonna do a video on what's in this box anyway. So this is my cliffhanger. Guess what it is? Guess in the comments and tell me what album this is. You might know. You know it's an album. So, yeah, whatever. So I think the video ends here too. I think it's where it stops. Yeah. All right, so it goes back to the beginning. All right, so let me wrap this one up. Now it's an hour. It's my longest video, an hour and 24 minutes. It's just going to take like 9,000 hours to upload to YouTube. But anyways, so I just wanted to do this video. I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do today for a video, and my son's coming over, and I had to I had to clean up the apartment today, so I figured it was a good time to have a video while things are relatively clean. I'm never disorganized, except when my son's here. When my son's not here, everything's always where you see it is in the video. I keep everything at spot, and I'm very organized. Not cleaning? Sure. I need to dust more. I need to vacuum more. I need to mop the floors in the kitchenette in the bathroom more often. But so I'm very organized in that regard. But the cleanest person in the world, I'm a dude, and there's no chicks here, so I can live how I want to live. So yeah, so that's my humble abode. So it's a good barometer now. So I've got just over 100 subscribers, which go ahead and subscribe now, which is probably a good time to do it, and like if you like this video. But let's see what happens if I get like millions of subscribers. Let's see if things change, or am I going to have, because every one of these people I see on YouTube, they've all got like really fancy places. Everything looks brand new, and everything looks like it wasn't, from a garage sale and made, in the 70s. So, this is, like I said, I'm not rich. I'm not in poverty, but I'm not that far out of it. So, this is, you've seen it, this is my 600 square foot apartment, I'm not impressing any of the ladies, especially at 50 years old, in my shape, So, this is what it is. So I just wanted to let everybody see what it is. When I mention stuff, or when I talk about my apartment stuff, I just wanted to give you a little tour. I thought it'd be cool. I saw other people do tours of their apartments. They're real fancy places. So I just wanted to go around and show you my not fancy place. But yeah, like I said, like and subscribe, and I'm going to do some videos. Obviously, I got a couple of albums to do some reviews on, and I'll probably do some more rants very soon as well. I got some other things I want to rant on. But other than that, yeah, let's end it, because it's going to hit an hour and a half here in just a minute. And you're only going to sit through the first 20 minutes anyway, so let's end it here. All right, talk to you then. Bye-bye.